he should be forced by law to accept any and all migrants into his private dwelling. I think we should send all immigrants to Jesse Waters' house. Oh,
Do you have the southern border is no more. It doesn't exist. Biden told us his phone app for illegals was going to tighten things up. Remember that? Migrants could just make a reservation to break into the country.
So these are all just okay. So this is characterized. This is mischaracterization and lying. Okay, cool. It's Jesse Waters, so it's kind of what you expect.
Do you have room for a party of 34 at 8 o'clock? Why, yes.
Wait,
do you need a high chair?
Tucker's
Why, yes, we do. We need 6.
Maybe.
Here's the problem. The app's busted. It's worse than the Obamacare website because Joe isn't even trying to fix this. He has a new strategy. He's giving up on the app. You don't need a reservation to break into the country anymore. Now, it's first come, first serve.
Wait, no, but that's not true. The app is to expedite people who have been sitting in the immigration process. Like, that's what the app is for. A lot of people are sitting at the border waiting to get like processed in this app. It's not quite a lottery, but like there's a shit ton of backlog because of Title 42's implementation since the COVID-19 pandemic.
Illegals show up to the border, Biden lets them in, and then they disappear. Biden has ordered the Border Patrol not to track them. Biden has ordered the Border Patrol to not give them dates to show up at a hearing.
Is this really the quality of news broadcasting on Fox News now? Like, don't get me wrong, Tucker Carlson's always been bad, but this is like, there's editorializing, and then there's this.
They're off the grid.
Like, whew.
And the ones that do have hearings, you ready? There's a 10-year wait time. The next opening for an immigration hearing is June 2033.
There is a huge backlog.
Pencil it into your calendar, Jose. Try not to schedule anything on June 1st, 2033.
Jose.
Now, Joe knows none of these migrants are showing up in court, and he knows they're not really fleeing violence because they wouldn't be fleeing to New York and Chicago.
Now, but they're not. They're in Texas and Arizona and probably New Mexico. Also, they're not fleeing violence. South America, Central America isn't violent. I never understand this. If they're not fleeing from violence, then why do Republicans like Jesse Waters? Why do Fox News pundits say that immigrants from our southern border bring in crime? I don't they say that they bring crime in, but then in the same breath they're saying, oh, they don't come from dangerous places. Which one is it? Are these people fleeing dangerous regions, or are they not? It's one or the other.
In a generation, Texas is going to be a Democrat state, and the Republican candidate for president is only going to be able to look at the White House from.
Well, why would that be? What evidence do you have to that? Unless you're arguing that all migrants from south of our border are Democrats. But if you've ever met a Latino, they're not exactly the most progressive folks, probably about as progressive as any other population. There is a massive population of conservative Catholic Latinos. I don't know why. Like, this is where I spoke a little bit earlier about the Republican Party's disinterest in migrants based on their race, since they're consistently, according to them, concerned about the life of children and the life of women, but yet aren't interested in the lives of migrant women or migrant children. The same kind of goes for this sort of thing. Why is it that, they have this assumption that people who cross the border from Mexico or south of thereof are immediately going to be Democrats? It's not because they actually think that they are liberal in their ideological bend. It's just because they need to motivate their voters, GOP voters, to vote against the acceptance of these people into the country. They frame it as being an ideological opposition, but nowhere have I ever seen any evidence to say that they couldn't tap into the Catholic, very religious, conservative Latino population. They just don't want to, because the party is, quite frankly, based on white racial politics. They're just not interested in it. If they actually were interested in it, they would want these people getting into the country and trying to garner their votes when they're eligible to vote. Keep in mind, you come here as a migrant. You're not a citizen. You don't immediately get to vote. There is a process for citizenship that you don't just immediately get to vote also. So I don't know what he means in a decade. Decade isn't even, it takes so fucking long to apply for citizenship and actually get it in this country. Our citizenship process also needs a lot of updating.
From the outside, every migrant can be just like the Bidens now. No one pays their taxes. But Biden swears he's on it, and he's working around the clock, cutting deals with Mexico.
If they're not in the legal system, if they're not allowed into the legal system, then yeah, they can't pay income taxes. They can't pay Social Security taxes. They can't pay any of the normal employment taxes, and along with property taxes that we have on our citizens. Like, if you want them to pay taxes, you need to legalize them and enter them formally into the system. Even if that just means green cards and work visas, that's still legal existence into the country. But they also pay, like, all migrants, also everybody pays sales tax. So in that case, they are paying taxes that they will not benefit from.
And is Mexico doing enough, sir? Are they taking enough enforcement?
Yes, I spent an hour with the president of Mexico yesterday. He's been very cooperative. We're in agreement.
Oh, what a deal. We take in all the illegals
Are we
and
not going to
Mexico
let him
watches.
finish his sentence?
Biden's phone calls never work out. He calls Xi Jinping and they send a spy balloon. He calls the Saudis, they send him to voicemail. And he calls Mexico and they send 1 million more migrants.
What is he even talking about? What voicemail? What spy balloon? I'm so confused.
Anytime this White House says there's a deal being
These
cut,
are just like
things get
random
worse.
stories from the last.
Remember when Kamala
couple
went to Central
months.
America to track down root causes? She cut some deals, sent them $4 billion, and promised to open a Target in Guatemala. Did that stop anything? No.
Is that
But Texas
is that what happened? If I type in I think he said a Target, not a Walmart. Big money support, but border crossings remain high. Yeah, no shit. Vice President Kamala Harris' efforts to tackle root causes of migration from Central America yielded more than $4.2 billion in private sector costs. Wait. Go back.
sent him $4 billion and promised to open a Target in causes. She cut some deals, sent him $4 billion and promised to open a Target in Guatemala.
Sent them $4 billion. Sir, this is private sector commitments. This isn't sending $4 billion. This is the private sector wanting to invest $4 billion. And this probably isn't even like one, what's it called? This most likely isn't even one business or industry. This is broadly the private sector being interested in investing into cheap land in South America and Central America. Influx, Republicans don't care. Is the word target in here at all? Is the word target in here at all? Let's see. Among those companies, thank God, are Chegg, an online learning platform that is committed to certifying 100,000 young adult students in Honduras by 2023. Nestle, which has supported thousands of car producers, and Target. Oh, so Nestle, you mean the company who would like to impose child labor so that they can rob the region of their cocoa beans for their chocolate. Gotcha. Yeah, this is yeah. This is private what's it called? This is private investment into the global south. That's all this is. Nothing, literally nothing new.
Did that stop anything? No. But Texas is doing something about it. Governor Abbott told the National Guard to put up some barbed wire to
Wait, when did I even wait a minute. what was the date on that article? Wow, this guy is fucking stupid. When was this? This was months ago. This was February. February 6th. What is that? 3 months ago? What does he think? 3 months after securing some private sector buy-in, that immigration is just gonna stop? Like, yeah, the root causes are a lack of secure jobs and like what's it called? And cartel influence in government. Like, yeah, no shit. No shit.
Well, the gaps. Look at that. It's actually been effective. He's trying to protect the state and the country. But instead of saying thank you, the Biden team's trying to sue him. Listen.
We've just seen some images from Texas showing Texas National Guard and DPS physically blocking migrants from climbing up the riverbanks and accessing U.S. soil. Does the department believe that that's a legal enforcement posture by the state of Texas?
Nick, I'm going to leave it to our Department of Justice to speak to the lawfulness or lack thereof of those actions.
Yeah, it's illegal to.
I love how they never let anybody finish their sentences. Like, I really do love that about Fox News. They cut everybody off in the middle of what they're saying so they can be like, all right, now on to this other thing.
Border. Greg Abbott's the governor of Texas, who joins us
better.
now. So that wire looked effective. Do you have plans, Governor, to do more of that?
I do, Jesse.
Also, keep in mind, effective does not mean that it's like humanitarian or legal. Like, anything can, like, shooting everybody at this border crossing would be effective, but it would be illegal and wildly against international law. That's what they're arguing, is that we have international asylum seeking and immigration laws, and you are currently breaking them. We have these laws in place to secure and make sure that countries all over the world, not just the United States, don't just kill people trying to immigrate to their country and seek asylum because they just don't want them there. Like, we need to have a legal system to go through all of this stuff.
Jesse, we have deployed some elite National Guard teams to respond to situations just like that. First, to put up barriers, whether it be the razor
really
wire that you saw there or other barriers, and then have National Guard and Texas Department of Public Safety either in front of it or behind it. Our goal is to repel people from coming into the country. We see locations like what was shown in that video, and whenever we see them, we block it. Let me hearken back to December. There was a long...
I want you to just think really quickly. Just imagine these were Republican Party voters. Just try fleeing, I don't know, a fucking red state into a blue state or something. Or fleeing like a blue state into a red state. And, and they were like, no, you're not allowed to leave. We're going to put barbed wire up to keep you where you are. Like, they would be...
A line of migrants outside of El Paso, trying to get into El Paso. When I saw that line, we deployed a group like this to set up a massive razor wire wall.
Also,
it's
keep
now
in mind,
18
this
miles
is just
long.
pushing people into
and
the arms of
overnight,
smugglers.
the migrants stopped flowing at that location into El Paso. We've seen this work. We're going to repeat it as often as possible up and down the border.
Good. You heard the...
Yeah, and that's fucking stupid and also ineffective. If you've ever played whack-a-mole, that's basically what they're going to do. They're going to drive that little group of elite janitors with balaclavas all over the fucking border and constantly stamp down every time a group of migrants show up somewhere. It's fucking stupid.
The president say he was on the phone with the president of Mexico for an hour. Have you ever spent an hour on the phone with our president?
So, Jesse, you may remember actually also in El Paso, I spent about 10 minutes on the tarmac of the airport in El Paso when I handed the president a letter that had in it 5 different things he could do under current American law to stop illegal immigration overnight. He shook his head, but never responded to me. I've sent the president 8 letters. He's never responded to it. So Texas, to the full extent we can, we're taking matters into our own hands.
So he ignores the American politician who's trying to work with him, and then he spends an hour on the phone with Mexico, who's doing flat out nothing.
Well, Jesse, you dipshit. The American politician that he's ignoring is in the opposition party, and is running a state in an oppositional fashion to the current president's administrative goals and values. So, yeah, no shit. Joe Biden, or any president for that matter, has no real what's the word I'm looking for? There is nothing that says that he needs to be interested in Greg Abbott's fucking opinions on the border. Greg Abbott is a dipshit and a Republican governor of Texas. So if I was president, I would have probably said, "Oh, thanks," ripped it up, and probably threw it back at him and been like, "Go fuck yourself. I don't have time for this nonsense." Because understand, what is his we're going to take it into our own hands. We're just going to set up barbed wire across the entire border of the United States. Like, yeah, that's a real fucking solution. And we'll send balaclava janitors all over the place to stamp down like little packs of people. Yeah, makes sense.
I have to make a personal request. I know this shouldn't be about me, but it always is. You got to send these illegals to somewhere else besides New York, because the traffic here is crazy. I was stuck behind a school bus full of illegal immigrants and their families for about 20 minutes. I almost missed the 5 today, Governor. Can maybe we
deal with it? I don't know. Buy the company helicopter or something. I don't know. Also, is that really? I mean, I want you to think about this. These are people who think themselves good Christians and good followers of Christ, and they're over here complaining that we let in desperate people from around the world and it inconvenienced his commute to work. That's the grace of Christ that this guy thinks he belongs in the light of. Jesus.
maybe some buses can go to Chicago or Philly?
Does he not?
So they're headed to Chicago more than any other place. They love Lori Lightfoot.
Okay, good. Because it's getting a little filled up.
You know what I
here.
think? I think we should send all immigrants to Jesse Waters' house. That's what we should do. He should be forced by law to accept any and all migrants into his private dwelling. That's what I think.
Here in Manhattan. And I'm hearing they might have to block off whole streets. And that's not going to fly. I'm going to be late. And we need to hear from me. The country needs to hear from me on time. You promise you're going to send no more buses here?
No, sir.
Thank
There
you.
will be more coming. There will be more going to New York, Philadelphia.
Like, these people treat other human beings as if they are cattle, as if they are livestock, and then turn around and pretend to be, good Christians, good people, all the rest of the stuff. It really, it really just proves how much of demons these fucking people are. Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, and let's get to Florida now, because so with the end of Title 42, in Florida, Ron DeSantis passed a a E-Verify requirement law in his state to kind of cut down on the illegal migrant employment, I suppose. So let's go take a look at that and see how that's been working out for them. Video showing empty shelves at a grocery store has gone viral just days after Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a sweeping anti-immigration bill into law. SB 1718, passed by Florida lawmakers in response to the end of Title 42, includes a requirement that businesses with more than 25 employees use E-Verify, a federal system that determines if employees can legally work in the U.S. DeSantis signed it into law on Wednesday, and it takes effect on July 1st. Experts have warned that the law will have an impact on Florida's economy, including by raising the prices for consumers and worsen a labor shortage. However, its supporters say it will combat illegal immigration and raise wages for legal workers. It won't do either of those two things. Let's be really clear. The U.S. economy, okay, so when we talk about the U.S. economy, we've been talking about immigration just on its own. But when we talk about the U.S. economy, it is propped up by the work of migrants. Migrant labor is how our country functions, quite frankly. Unfortunately, we have been pretty blasé about companies taking in migrant labor, paying them garbage wages and allowing them to get away with that for far too long. And it has made a lot of companies dependent on that kind of basically free labor, that incredibly cheap labor. And now the chickens have come home to roost. Now that, Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, has decided he wants to win some votes, he wants to win some support in the Republican Party, he's going to require E-Verify for all of these employers, now thinking, oh, this will mean that American workers are going to go work, picking the fruit, work stocking the grocery stores. And guess what? It ain't going to happen. Because none of these jobs and none of these employers want to pay American wages. So now, this is the consequence of that. Prices are going to go up, shortages are going to happen, and you all can thank Ron DeSantis for this one. Over the weekend, a video purporting to show empty shelves in a grocery store in Florida as a result of the law went viral on TikTok. The video has not been verified by Newsweek and is not known that the shortages of truckers is to blame for the empty shelves. The clip posted by a user, Representative, okay. We'll look at the clip in a bit. Let's see. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a Democrat from New York, last week responded to the reported boycott planned by truckers, saying Florida's leaders were responsible for the backlash. Anti-immigrant policies reap what they sow. DeSantis's Florida is about to find that out. The U.S. has such deep needs right now, particularly in labor, yet policymakers of all stripes take our immigration communities for granted. No mas. Time to stop biting the hands that feed. Not wrong. Meanwhile, other videos posted on Twitter and TikTok appear to show empty construction sites and farms in the state. These have not been verified, obviously. I don't really know if there's like a way to verify. Yeah, good luck with this. Work sites across Florida are struggling after lawmakers passed a draconian anti-immigrant bill backed by DeSantis. Our state is being ruined by racist politicians who want to demonize people who simply want to work and be left alone while providing for their families. Jesus. And also, let's be clear. Let me just be clear about this now. I'm not a fan of immigrant non-legal and shit wage work. What we should be doing is legalizing these workers and then requiring these work sites to pay them proper wages. That's what should be happening. But unfortunately, there's this, we'll decouple these workforces and make them uneligible to work for some of these places, and American workers will just go and do the work, which won't happen. They are still there. At the end of the day, the relationship that these businesses have to these low wages will always trump, wanting to pay more for American workers. You have to force them to pay American workers by forcing their hand. Worksites across Florida struggling. Our state is being ruined by racist. Right. Okay, I don't know why those are quoted different places. DeSantis, who is expected to announce his presidential candidacy in the coming weeks, has made hardening Florida's immigration law a top priority while criticizing federal border policy. In Florida, we will not stand idly by while the federal government abandons its lawful duties to protect our country. Talk to Congress. Talk to Congress about that. The legislation I signed today gives Florida the most ambitious anti-illegal immigration laws in the country, fighting back against reckless federal government policies and ensuring that Florida taxpayers are not footing the bill for illegal immigration. They're not footing the bill. They're benefiting from illegal immigration. Every Floridian, everybody in this country benefits from illegal immigration. Understand that. We all benefit from the illegal, underpaid labor of these communities. Newsweek has contacted the governor's office for further comment via email. The migrant workers on the farm at home said Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Oh, right. Okay, that's for the picture. Yeah. Hey. Good job, numbnuts. There's also a truckers strike right now on behalf of migrant workers. Because these are the people also. The reason why truckers are protesting right now is also because what's it called? These migrant communities are who a lot of truckers are going to be working with. Like, these are their coworkers. So I respect that they're
Supermarkets are empty and
in solidarity.
There's nothing. Nothing. Look. Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing here.
Jeez. Actually, to be honest, I'm looking at this. It's a bit weird that there is literally nothing instead of just scraps from the day before. I don't know. This seems... I mean, this is pretty unverified, but I will say this is a bit suspect that it's empty. It looks like it's just a new store. It also looks very clean. I don't know.
Lucky if you find something.
Okay. I'll go out on a limb here and be the bad guy. I don't know if that video is actually indicative of the situation in Florida directly, but I have no doubt that there is going to be, or is a shortage currently of workers to stock that stuff. I have no doubt about that. Do I think it's to that extent? I am a bit skeptical on that specifically. The thing that they tell, like at the end of all YouTube videos where they tell you to like click on one of these like things to watch more videos. Yeah, I've been meaning to film one of those. So that's what I was doing. I was just setting it up to film one.